I was plane bound, flying straight from Morocco, over a blanket of clouds and then underneath them. The tunnels began, tunnels carving and cutting through rock like portals to other worlds and other weathers out here in the Atlantic Ocean. After Morocco, a bit of an unwind is what we thought we needed, yet the moody temperament of this island had other ideas. It's cold! And it's starting to rain. There are two types of rain. There's the rain that makes you regret your entire existence, like London rain, and then there's the rain like here in Madeira, where it's just crazy. It gets you G'd up for a little bit, and then you feel a little bit amazing. This is Airbnb Feast Madeira. So these are some natural pools. They seem to be quite a bit warmer than the ocean, so I'm gonna get in. Blah. Yeah. Whoa, casterazucar. It's not exactly bracing cold, but after sweaty Morocco, it cuts right to the bone. There are more of these pools along the coast, some busier, like this one just a short drive away, but easier to access. I followed it up with a rather meh concoction of fried fish and banana, and then continued the journey. So there's this cable car that goes down to the beach, and I thought, you know what, screw the cable car. I'll just go down myself. Oh my gosh. That'll make me want to throw up my banana and fish lunch. So this cable car is supposedly one of the highest in Europe, and yeah, it is almost vertical at the start. The bottom, well, it's incredibly unusual. Half windy wasteland hellscape, part isolated idyllic seascape, had me assuming that the cable car was the crux of the experience. But as you can see, the windswept landscape was incredibly punishing. Through another portal to another weather change, and it was time to wash the car. This had more influences than a cafe opening here, and it was pretty crowded. But still worth the drive, if not to see the slow, persistent power of nature at work. You can see the road being slowly eroded away. Okay, so we need to discuss something. This beef. It would set me on a hunt for this Airbnb feast that would have me trying out some rather strange things. But this is called an ESPETADA. Beef on a stick. This stuff, Madeiran beef, and basted in garlic butter over a flame. That with a stiff puncher, and the night gets pretty loose pretty quickly. This place, run by a Venezuelan guy and his daughter, if you're around, look them up. The link will be in the description.
Muchas gracias.
Get in the car and you drive out to this part where, like, apparently it's not that popular. And I'm thinking, okay, this maybe is the place to be. Maybe this is a place that is like a little undiscovered or something like that. And so you drive through an industrial area with like solar panels and all sorts of stuff, and I'm thinking, God, no one's gonna be out here. It's just gonna be a wasteland. And then you get here and it's crawling. It is crawling with people like you would not believe. It's this like mountain chain like superimposed against the sky, and you can see all along the ridge people like ants marching along to the most epic view, which is, I'm assuming, is over there somewhere, because this definitely isn't it. This is just like a little rocky outcrop that I chose because it was quiet. But I suppose that is like the curse of tourism. Like, to have a successful tourism economy, you need a lot of people, and successful it is, and and I can see why. It's a beautiful place. It's incredible. And at the very least, I saw in the car park there was a food truck with some delicious looking Madeiran food. So I'll be picking some of that up on the way back. That's for damn sure. So as I'm climbing this hill, I'm like constantly thinking about what I want to cook, and listening to the guy last night who gave me the beautiful ESPETADA, talking about Madeiran beef. I'm thinking to myself, this island has got like 200,000 people maximum, and the vast majority of it is mountainous, and yet they still have Madeiran beef, despite having no farmland, real farmland that I've seen. So I think I'd be a fool to pass up something that special. Even though we're surrounded by the ocean, I really don't think passing up something seemingly as rare as Madeiran beef is a wise idea.
Tanga and Madeira and regional.
Mandarin, tangerine?
Yeah, I make. Okay.
Thank you. Obrigado. Hey. So, we got a poncho for you, Nessa. One of many. And I got this Christmas pork roll, and you can have this lovely overexposed shot. This thing is Christmas pork. It's delicious. It's pork and wine. Pastel de nata. Up here, we were meant to get above the clouds and look over a stunning vista, like a blanket of clouds. But you can sort of see the result. Still worth the trek up to have the opportunity to see it though. The photos look absolutely sick. Not my photos, other people's did. We stayed in the clouds for a really long time. The way the landscape changes as you drive is just incredible. It makes you feel like you're not actually where you are. It's meant to be a hot island just off the coast of Africa, but no. But we found another free car wash, and this one's a bit of a surprise. There was no one there, which is great. And then we also found some Madeiran beef, but we went looking for these waterfalls, and it was absolutely pissing down, but I decided to go seek it out anyway. Even though I was meant to be sort of angling for this car park just a little bit above, I didn't think it was that far. We legged it like 1.5 kilometers in that direction. And amongst the clouds, came across some Germans who were like, I think it's down here. And then it just wasn't. So I'm looking for this waterfall. I can't bloody find it. Something tells me it's over here. And there's a path that's not marked on the map. We'll see. You see these cars here, but maybe I just didn't go far enough. No. Sometimes when you're traveling, you just have to know when to call it quits. I'm sick of this Silent Hill shit. I'm going back to the car, and I'm gonna go get some dinner. That we're actually check. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Dziękuję. So we're going to be doing a quick run through the market. I'm gonna get some vegetables, I'm gonna get some steak. I'm gonna try and get everything as local as possible. And I think I'm gonna try and have a fruity element to it. So I'm gonna get the Madeiran steak, or Madeiran beef, and then maybe make a garlic compound butter, nice and easy, and then some fruit, and just see what works. Maybe one of those, and a little bit of this, no, maybe one of these, something like a islandy root veg. I've already got some tamarillos. Maybe tamarillo and garlic compound butter is what I'll need to do. I'll go grab some garlic over here. Maybe some plantains. I don't even know how much I'm meant to get of this. I don't know what it is.
This is Madre del Oro. Apparently it's used in folk medicine. I couldn't really find much about it online in the heat of the moment, and so I decided that I would eat it. It's quite firm, and in hindsight, I probably should have softened it up.
Yeah, strangest looking rosemary I've ever seen.
The rest of the shop was incredibly abundant. This one located in Ribeira, Brava. Google location will be in the description, but this place was heaving with everything you need to make a cracking dinner. And just down the road, in a casual supermarket, I struggled my way through explaining how much meat I needed.
A little bit more? Yeah, yeah, maybe. This one, right? Yeah. So, same. Yeah, just one. Yeah. The curse lives on. Once again, another Airbnb with a bread knife and a paring knife as my only choices, and I've bought taro. Damn it to hell. I actually went and got beef fillet, €4.50, unbelievably cheap. I got pork fillet here as well, or pork loin. Now these two are going to get cooked in roughly the same fashion. I'm going to make a rub, or like a marinade, like a fatty marinade. So I've got smoked paprika here, semilla de achiote, probably saying that wrong. Apparently it's used as a colorant, but I'm interested to see if it's got any flavor. And we've also got this here, which is Madre del Oro, which apparently grows on the trees here in Madeira. It comes from a fungus, and you can harvest it from only the north side of the island. I'm not actually sure what the growing conditions are, but I imagine it's got something to do with how wet this place gets. And then finally garlic. So all that's going to get blended up, and it's going to get mixed in with some butter, rubbed on this, and then left to marinate while I deal with the taro. Now I really did not think this through. You see, the taro is unbelievably tough, and I've only got a tiny little knife. So either way, I'm gonna have to deal with it somehow. I'm gonna give it a peel, I'm gonna chop it into nice rounds, and I'm gonna boil it for quite a while until it's sort of getting tender. And then with the beautiful bit of rosemary, some butter and a little bit of garlic, I'm going to sort of do a, what do you call it, like a fondant, like you would do with a fondant potato, but a fondant taro. Finally, it's probably the strangest thing to be honest, butter, garlic and tamarillo. The butter itself is local. It's a local butter. Well, local enough. It's from this chain of islands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a compound butter with a little bit of lightly sautéed garlic. Blend that up with some butter, and then finally mix in some tamarillo. So I'm going to put a big whack of butter in. You want to make sure there's plenty of butter so these puppies don't stick. So it's browning now, and we'll give it a flip and we'll get them brown on both sides, and then pour some water in, and then you just let it simmer. That didn't go well. So here you can see I've coated the pork steak with this butter spice mixture along the sides and top and bottom. And the same goes for this beef fillet. Now I'm hoping that when I fry it, a lot of it's going to melt off, the butter's going to caramelize, and then we're going to end up with the flavor and not much of the particulate stuff. Time for show and tell. Here is my butter. So this is Tamarillo butter. It's just Tamarillo pulp with the juice sort of strained out and butter. It smells good, fatty and fruity. An interesting combination. I discarded the garlic. Decided that there's enough garlic in the fondant potatoes and in that marinade I made. I'm just gonna leave it there. That'll be a whole bowl of garlic at that point. And here is the juice from the Tamarillo. You know what? I might just decorate the plate with that. A little bit of a fruity undertone to the whole thing. Fondant taro is looking pretty good. That's slowly reducing down, and then get a nice sort of like buttery finish on each side.
Holy heck, this meat does not show how much of a potential shit show this almost turned into. From the induction hob being on roids and threatening to burn everything, to me blending mystical fungus across the kitchen, I barely had control of the situation, and here, lo and behold, I cobbled together a dish that was properly tasty. The meat juicy and flavorful, the taro earthy and fragrant, and the butter glazing everything in a bittersweet fruitiness that was just, yes! As you can tell, I'm rather stoked, because not every meal in a new kitchen turns out like this. I mean, I could go back and eat this again. The pork one was pretty delicious, but by far and away, that beef, so cheap, so tasty, so tender. I would do this again in a heartbeat.
Every so often you have a miracle cook, where nothing should go right. You've got 2 burners and a pot, and things are not always going to plan, but then sometimes it just comes out right. And this one is right.
So this is a bit arse about face, but this Airbnb we're in, it was nice, with some pretty luxurious touches compared to what we're used to. Not all Airbnbs are created equal. This one was part of a complex nestled between mountains and sea, with a pool and touches of nature. It was well worth it, but I couldn't linger. We had to move. You see, this is the way we travel. Ines has about 1 million things pinned on her Google Maps wherever we go, and it's like an itinerary for a month crammed into 4 days. We aim to absolutely month that list, so we'll go to the very top, like this place, a village nestled in the mountains that is a staggeringly long way up, and then we'll stop for a mediocre bite, and we'll knock back a coffee, and then we'll find another place to get a bit more vertigo. This place was incredibly high and quite sickening, but still worth the experience and free. And then we'll do some people watching, look seawards, and get the hell out of there. You see, you don't need to hang around for too long to get a feel of what life is like.